Very much for attending this press conference with the President of the European Parliament, Roberta METSOLA. President, please, you have the floor.
Good afternoon. Nice to see you here. I have just finished my discussions with the heads of state and government. The main message that I have conveyed on behalf of the European Parliament is that we need to continue to support Ukraine to defend itself. We need to continue to show solidarity and avoid any sign of fatigue. In this regard, the ammunition deal reached by Member States earlier this week represents a landmark moment for the European Union, and I specifically thank the High Representative Borrell for his efforts on this. Europe will always stand for peace, for a real peace with accountability and justice. But for there to be a peace, there needs to be a Ukraine, a free Ukraine. And for there to be a European Union, there must be a free Ukraine. And the price of liberty can never be too high. I also spoke about the need for us to give more visibility to the heavy toll that this aggression is having on Ukraine's people and especially its children. This brutal and illegal war is ruining the lives of a generation. I also mentioned and referred to the International Criminal Court's arrest warrants in the context of Putin and his accomplices at every level needed to be sanctioned and held to account. And it is this momentum that we must build on, and one that can work in sync with the need to establish a special international tribunal for the crime of aggression committed against Ukraine. The second theme of our discussion focused on competitiveness, and here I made it very clear that it is particularly important that we as co-legislators work closely together as we need to deliver for our citizens, and I say this with an eye open already on the upcoming EU elections. Our European economies are all car competitive, but our task is to keep them competitive in order to boost our economic output, create jobs and invest in the green and digital transitions. We need to lead on this globally, but we also need to lead on this at home. And in order for us to get there, we need people to buy into the idea that going green will pay off for them, their businesses and their families. And that's why we must make the business case and provide the right incentives for people to come on board. And for this, we need clear direction, public and private investments and legislative predictability. Easing bureaucracy and burden to go green will help. We need a level playing field. This is crucial, but also let's avoid a protectionist race. In fact, I repeated this point that I made last European Council. I also spoke on migration because this is something that also a lot of Prime Ministers and I spoke on bilaterally. Couple of words. The Parliament will vote on the asylum and migration files next week. So our message is that we have done and will continue to do our part, also keeping in mind the signature of the roadmap that we signed as Parliament with the 5 presidencies all the way leading up to the European elections in 2024. But now we also need, and this is a specific ask that I put on the table from the Council and its leaders to deliver on the remaining files linked to solidarity. If we don't move in unison, then we will not be able to go back to our citizens in 2024 and say that we have at least tried to address the multifaceted challenge of migration, and also making sure that all the elements are included in the decisions that we take. So I'll stop here and happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much.